I like it. Mhm.
All right, so here we go. Welcome everybody to another episode of Sips, Riffs, and Flix. I am here with my co-host
Brandon Crouch,
and I am Kevin, and we are super pumped about tonight's special guest. You've heard us talk about it. You've seen us drink it. You've heard us tell you how important it is. And now here we are with the CEO of Biolyte, Jesslyn Rollins.
Woo! Welcome.
The crowd goes wild. Yay! Well, guys, I'm so excited to be chatting with y'all.
Yeah.
This is a dream.
Gosh, you're making my Wednesday now.
Exactly. Yeah, well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to fit our little podcast in and help spread the word about all the good work and the great story about how Biolite came to be. Not only do we believe in the product and we use it almost daily, but how your story is actually, where the product is and how it came to be. Do you mind sharing that story with us?
I don't mind at all. I would be honored to.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Biolite is actually my family's company. My mom had breast cancer a few years ago. And when she was going through her chemo treatments, she was so sick and so dehydrated to the point where she literally couldn't keep up with treatments without getting an IV bag beforehand. My dad is an anesthesiologist, and he has years and years of experience using IV bags to help balance out people's bodies, help alleviate symptoms of nausea, just dehydration, any type of energy deficiency. And he was trying, throughout this whole process, he was trying sports drinks, children's rehydration products, electrolyte powders to keep her hydrated for treatments, and nothing was working. So what he wanted to do was create a product that would bring the IV bag home to her. And that is exactly what Biolite is. Biolite, the IV in a bottle, combines the science of IV rehydration, sports drinks, and nausea remedies to help people feel better. Biolite has as many electrolytes as an IV bag. That is the equivalent of 7.5 sports drinks in one single bottle, plus ingredients that help reduce nausea, give you a natural boost of energy, and help your head, help alleviate any type of headache or just low energy problems that you're having.
One of the things, I used to work in the emergency department as a nurse, and I'm not going to say it happened. Let's just say there's rumors that, people may have a night of overindulging, and maybe there were some IV bags available, and say that you had too much to drink and you have an IV that night, you wake up the next morning and you didn't really have a hangover. Like you're able to replenish from and hydrate yourself from the dehydration that took place the night before. And so, how I come to see this was I was at a local drugstore and I saw the bottle there, and we were about to go out of town on guys' weekend. And I thought, well, if there's a chance that we maybe have one or two too many, I don't want to feel terrible the next day. And I definitely want to drive all the way home from the beach feeling horrible. So maybe I'll give this Biolite IV in a bottle a try. And sure enough, it saved us.
Yeah. And so obviously you can see the flat behind us, and there's bottles. So we both live in the same neighborhood. At any point, we both keep it in our refrigerators, out in our garages and stuff. We have neighbors that are like, do y'all have any Biolite in your fridge? Like, we had a big night. We're like, yeah, come grab it. So we always have it ever since the trip he's talking about. Like, I always have it at my house, hands down.
I love it. Y'all are the honey hole.
Yeah, we are.
Well, we actually have a local honey hole.
Need to start paying you commission.
So we have it's called Banner Drug, and it's nearby, and they're the ones that have it here. And I think there's maybe one other spot here in Statesville, but they are definitely the go-to spot. And before we started, I told you their sales have been rising ever since we've started sharing it on our podcast.
That's awesome. Yeah, we love the Banner Drug family. They're an incredible partner, and they motor through some product. So we are incredibly grateful to be working with them.
So I want to step back a second. While your dad was creating the formula, it was your dad and your sister, I think, right?
Yeah.
Working on this.
Yep.
Was he using on himself? Was he using your mom? Like, hey, try this, see if this helps. And like, how did he kind of come together? Like, this is the perfect formula.
Yeah.
That is helping her.
Yeah. So Biolite is not something that you can make in your kitchen. If you were to try to do that, it would taste absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
So Sarah, my oldest sister, who had the idea for Biolite, she and my dad reached out to massive companies. They're like chemist companies. They are beverage formula flavor houses, so to say. And they worked with them for 4 years to create the formulation of Biolite. My dad looked at all of the components of a D5 half lactated ringer. What that is, it's an IV bag that they use in non-operative settings because it gives people dextrose, which is sugar, which is, it helps you with energy, it helps with fatigue, that type of thing. And so he used that as the base of the product. Some people ask us, do you have coconut water in it? What's your base? And the base was literal IV fluid is what we were going off of. And then Dad, there's this thing that he was doing for years and years called hyperalimentation, which is the use of IV fluid with nutritional supplementation in that IV fluid. So he was very used to putting ingredients in people's IV bags that were specific to what they were going through. If they were nauseous, let's throw a little bit more dextrose in there to help with the nausea. It helps with energy and nausea. And then let's throw a little ginger in there. Everybody, since you're little, you drink ginger ale when your tummy's upset.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that y'all will find very fascinating is that a lot of times Dad would run into patients that had Tylenol poisoning, and they would have to hook them up to IV bags. When you get Tylenol poisoning, your liver literally shuts down. Mm-hmm. So Dad used and put ingredients in people's IV bags to help their liver push out toxins. There are 3 ingredients in Biolite called milk thistle, glucuronolactone, and N-acetyl L-cysteine that I believe it was glucuronolactone or N-acetyl L-cysteine that he would use when somebody would come in for a Tylenol overdose. And jumping back to y'all's comments about overindulgence, your liver is in overdrive when you have overindulged. And so those 3 ingredients plus the electrolytes are going to be very, very effective for overindulgence.
It helps the liver process that extra overindulgence faster.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, it really does. The product was not made for that. It was made for anything to do with somebody not feeling well and needing balance, like balancing out in your body. And overindulgence just happens to be one of those things.
Well, it's interesting that it's not just, people use it for whatever they need it for, but dehydration. I know several people who unfortunately been diagnosed with COVID, and I have had their family members go pick up Biolite and help them. Now, did it turn them around? No, but did it give them a little bit more energy to make them feel better, to get up out of the bed and to go to the room? Yes. So if there is anybody that I know that has been ill, especially if they've got a GI bug, I tell them, like, you need to go get you some Biolite from Banner Drug.
So I have a
Oh, absolutely.
So while we're on this topic, I have another question I want to ask. But while we're on this topic, so there are other products, obviously, that are trying to copy you guys or have the same formulation or get in the same market space as you guys. You have your powders, your banana bags, you have all this different stuff. What would you say sets Biolite apart from all of those?
So on a, just a formula basis, Biolite is the only product on the market that can say we have as many electrolytes as an IV bag. Some people may use that in their marketing slogans, in their names, anywhere from powders to drinks to whatever, to gels. But Biolite is literally the only product that is a true IV in a bottle. And it has these, so there's that level of differentiation. That's the biggest one. And then the other differentiation are these other ingredients that help you feel better. Not a lot of those products have those three very effective oh my gosh, liver cleansers in their products. Plus the nausea remedies are huge. People going through a flu bug, just something is upset your stomach. Biolite has ingredients that are going to calm your stomach. It is a true feel better in a bottle when you are not feeling well. And so that's really the main differentiator, is that our product is a superior product.
And I know for when it's hot outside and I've been doing a lot of yard work and I'm sweating, I need not necessarily a sports drink or water. I'm going to the Biolite because I have I have SVT. So if I get dehydrated, I can feel myself getting into like a little rapid heart rate. So I'm like, I need to take the time out here and go chill, drink something.
Yeah.
Probably a Biolite if I have any in the refrigerator. So there are other areas that it's not just for, if you're sick, if you're ill, like if you're truly had a hard day of work in the yard doing some manual labor, you really need to replenish, because people don't understand, just us talking, we're losing water through our spit. We're constantly sweating. So I think a lot of people are in a very, not a dehydrated state, but you need to constantly be hydrating yourself. It's very important.
Yeah. And, going off of that, because Biolite is so effective in its 16 ounces, yes, absolutely. If you are working outside, you've had a long day, that type of thing, it is very effective for that. But we really do push this as, I'm feeling run down. I am feeling sick. I've had a big workout. There is a need there. Biolite, because it has, more electrolytes than 7.5 sports drinks, more electrolytes than a jug and a half of the leading children's rehydration products, more electrolytes than, a powder packet and a half of leading electrolyte powders. It really does pack a punch, and we want people to use it when they need it. Not just an everyday, I'm going to have this with my hamburger. It's not really formulated for that.
That stuff is liquid gold. You don't want to use it.
That's right. You got to have it when you need it. So this is a question. This is more just out of curiosity for me. So Brandon and I are both business owners, do marketing consulting. We do a lot of different stuff. So my question for you, I read through some interviews and some things, and so I want to take you back to the time you had graduated from the University of Georgia. You have your theater and communications degree, and your father comes and talks to you, and he offers you a director of sales for a product called Biolite. Yes. What was your initial thought at that moment?
My initial thought was, Dad, don't throw me out of the will. or anything, but I don't know what this product looks like. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't know what it does. I gotta try it. And I'm honored, I'm flattered, but like I gotta try it. And so he told me that this guy, my dad literally was like, don't worry, you'll get a chance to try it because we have 10,000 bottles coming to our home. And no, like he was right. The next day we had a big tractor trailer pull into my home, my, home that I was raised in Atlanta. And here we are, beep, beep, beep in our driveway.
So when did you know, like, when did you know that it was going to be a life-changing product, that you were going to be approaching different markets and talking to different people and really pushing it? Like, what was the moment where you knew that this was what y'all thought it was going to be and that the world needed to be able to get it?
The moment that I knew that this could really help people was when so the first thing that I did when I got involved with Biolite, because I didn't trust the fact that I thought the drink was awesome. I was like, listen, probably I've got some bias here. Of course I want my dad's drink to do well. So I took it to my my high school, the Lovett School here in Atlanta. And I was in theater, so they didn't know who the heck I was. And I walk in to go meet with the athletic trainer, and I was like, hey, Sean, I'm Jesslyn, graduated 2010. Nice to meet you. And I've got this product that I really want you to try. And it's an IV in a bottle. I think it's going to be great for your athletes. And I didn't really know. I didn't know why he would try it, but he was like, okay, thanks for the, weird drink, lady. Good to see you. And what he did was he gave me a call on Saturday after Lovett's game on Friday. And he called me at like 8:00 in the morning and was like, Jesslyn, I need more Biolite immediately. And what he told me was that typically he had 10 student athletes that cramp habitually during the games. And it's completely debilitating because those were his star players. A lot of them were. And when he gave them one bottle of Biolite before the game and one at halftime, 9 of them did not cramp at all.
Wow. And
so that's when I was like, okay, I think I've got something here. And I went through the GHSA playoff bracket. And if you had made the prior year, I visited your school and gave you samples of Biolite and grew it from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, is Biolite in any college level or pro level sports teams that are actually consuming the product? Because we know there's the leading sports brand that has, the huge market share for that. But are you guys in any other athletics that are actually using the product?
Yeah. So we are in a few university programs, Georgia State, Mercer. But the problem is with that space, Coca-Cola and Pepsi have a massive gorilla hold on those universities. And when I figured out that was going to be a lot harder to do, I pivoted and focused more on, easier access stuff and really growing that retail footprint and getting this into customers' hands, whether that be through a pharmacy, grocery store, C-store, that type of thing was my focus. I was like, we've got to figure out that first, especially with one person before growing in the university space. And I kind of gravitated towards that because I thought that was a good first step. And with me only being the one sales rep in here, I was like, I don't think I'm going to blow it up in the university space right now. Maybe later, but not right now.
So I think when like Tom Brady and LeBron listen to this, they're going to hear this and they're like, you know what? Instead of us getting that IV at halftime because we're dehydrated and we're cramping, we're going to just have that bottle of Biolite before, and then at halftime, and then probably after the game sip on something. Yeah. That's what they should.
They
I'm
should
just saying.
No, I'm serious, y'all. But don't discredit these high school programs.
Yeah.
There were, I would say, like 40% of them were using IV bags.
Wow.
And and so they were so excited. First of all, they didn't believe me. They didn't think that it was going to work as effectively. But once they tried it, they were like, we literally don't need to do that anymore. Because, there's all these issues that come with using IV bags when you're running into each other. You got an open wound on the field, and parents are nervous about it. And so having something that you could drink that was already in the right ounces for them, it made their lives a lot easier.
So if you haven't figured this out right now, Kevin and I really don't know a whole lot about much, so this may sound like a really stupid question, but so rehydration arena, excluding your major sports drinks, who are you guys the dominant company, or is it other company out there who has the market share? Like, where do you guys fit right there?
Ooh, that's a great question. No, Biolite, yes, we are a multi-million-dollar company, and I'm very, very proud to say that. But we are still in what we see as startup phase. Right. We haven't even skimmed the surface of grabbing the amount of market share that we really want. So, stay tuned.
Yeah. And so are you guys, is it still, it's family owned, family run? I mean, y'all are still that same approach, which I think is awesome. That is my favorite kind of story.
Thank you. Yeah, it's such a blessing to be able to say that. My dad and mom own 100% of Biolite and have tasked me to, make sure that, it doesn't blow up. And
no pressure.
maybe blow up in a good way, but not, kaboom. It is, as business people, like, you're constantly hearing about investors and, how capital infusion, and lining yourself up with celebrities, and that's the only way that you can grow a business these days. And I really would like to prove that wrong. I really would like to, build the right team, have a great product, and still remain family owned and grow this thing for us, this is the right way, and this is our path. And I would really like to keep it that way, as long as we can.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that the business right now is funding itself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I got to give mad props to Matt Beecham, our CFO. He is completely brilliant, and came in very early on and was like, this is a mess. And he has been the one to keep us on track, and he's definitely our guardrails. He's our cynic of the group, but everybody's got to have one.
Well, and I'm sure you guys at this point in the company, I'm sure there's an easier way. I'm sure y'all have had offers. I'm sure, like you said, there's investors and there's this and there's that. I think people are looking to support family-owned businesses now. I think that we've actually kind of reset our thoughts, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. And people are wanting to get back behind family-owned businesses and small businesses, and people, getting behind those type things. So I think it's awesome that you guys stand behind your product, and it's still, within the family. And I think that says so much just about you guys as a family and your product. So I just commend you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate that. I'm glad you think so.
So it says we're running out of time here.
Yeah, I didn't upgrade to the other Zoom.
So we want to do something fun here. One of the things we do on this show is we taste test things, bourbons, vodkas, all this stuff. So as big of a fans of Biolite as we are, we have never had the berry flavor.
Never ever.
So we're huge fans of citrus.
Okay.
We've never had the berry, so we wanted to try it with you on the show with us.
Have you ever done this before? A taste test?
Okay, hold on. Before you drink it, I got to tell y'all a quick story.
Okay.
So in our first year, I did about 200 samplings with people.
Yeah.
I have had people spit out Biolite in front of me. I have had people say, "This is disgusting. Is this poison?" in front of me. So there is nothing that you can do here to upset me at all. So, but since you already love the product, we're starting in a good place. But no, berry's going to be different.
Okay.
All right.
So
we're open-minded to it.
Yeah, we have the warning. All right. So here we go. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Berry Biolite.
Cheers, guys.
All right, everybody.
I like that better than the citrus.
Okay. So it definitely tastes like Biolite for sure.
It does.
But it's good. I will drink it, but I like the citrus. This is not bad, but my palate likes the citrus.
I think it's just because we've had so much citrus.
I actually had one today.
Live it on love and Jesus and citrus.
That's right. So, so my wife, for instance, she has tried it and she says that it has it's more salty than she's used to, but she's only had that one sip. I think this has a less salty flavor to it. So I'm going to let her obviously drink this one too. But for the people that have tried citrus and not quite sure about it, go try the berry for sure. It's different. It is different.
I think the only thing that I'm tasting at the end, there's like a little bit of tart or something like that I taste. Yeah. But I don't hate it. Like I don't
Tell people what it tastes like. What are you tasting? What could you associate
just
it
so
with?
you understand, everything we've ever tasted, Brandon says it has nutmeg in it. So just warning.
So for the first time ever, this has no nutmeg and it's not hanging off my uvula. So that part is good. I can definitely taste a little bit of the saltiness, but that doesn't bother me. The one thing I will say is that when I drink a leading sports drink, that it makes my phlegm very thick. This does not. So I like that.
I can tell you're a nurse. Not afraid of using the word phlegm. Look at that.
And it definitely does not leave that that film. You know, some people talk about a film like we've talked about other sports drinks. There's some that I just cannot drink, like Propel, some of that stuff. It just leaves a film. I can't put my finger on what I do taste something at the end, but I just don't know what it is.
Can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something there.
Something there. Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing that I have found about Biolite is I drink them very fast.
Oh, I chug them every time.
Yeah, and I don't want to drink them that fast because I actually want to savor the flavor, but it just goes down so smooth and so easy.
So how we describe berry and Biolite is we say that it tastes like a salty, a sweeter, excuse me, God, I'm getting my sweets mixed up. A sweet, salty, raspberry, strawberry sports drink.
Yep.
So, and I was gonna name obviously a berry because that's what we're talking about, but I was really going back and forth between like a strawberry or a raspberry, like because I wanted to just name one, but now that you said that, it is kind of a combination.
Well, the thing is they're evenly balanced, so you're not getting a heavy strawberry or a heavy raspberry. But I will tell you, and this probably isn't what you should do with this, but I bet you if you made like this into a margarita, whew.
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
Oh, y'all are cracking me up.
So, really fast, what is the one thing from this journey you've been on with Biolite? What is something that has come as a surprise to you? like something, it could be, you know, somebody came up to you and it was just like it changed their life, or, you know, obviously what you went through with your mother, obviously. But is there anything that's happened that was just so unexpected? You were like, I would have never thought that this path would have led me to meet this person or hear this story or anything like that. And I
Something
know
that,
you were not prepared for something like that.
oh my God, no, you're fine. I love things like this. Um, you know, it's God, to be honest with you, what shocked me was that Randy Waters at Kroger, the head of the all natural division for Kroger, said that he would put Biolite in his stores.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all,
Yeah.
and no, and here's, you know, want to know the craziest part is that he never tried Biolite.
Never tasted it.
Never, he literally never tried it and said, let's put it in hundreds of stores. And
Right.
I was like,
Your sales pitch must.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah, I mean, really.
no. So do we have time for a really quick story?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the reasons why Randy brought Biolite in was because Savannah Distributing, our distributor for Georgia, had these coolers in Kroger. They were owned by Savannah Distributing. And Savannah at the time had this kombucha, and they were loading it in those coolers. One of the sales reps was putting this kombucha in those coolers, and it was in a glass bottle, and it exploded and went in the sales rep's eye.
Oh gosh.
Immediately, they took the kombucha off the shelf. And so Savannah Distributing had an opening in those coolers in Kroger. So I went in to go talk to Randy, tell him about the product, you know, we are in 3 stores. It's going to do great. and he was like, he gave us an opening because he said, there's an opening in those coolers and I love your passion. And I just, 99% of the time I'm going to say no, but I just have a good feeling about this. And that's how we got in. That was shocking to me.
And well, you know, and that's another one of those things. I mean, it's a timing thing, right? So it just happened to be at the right time and you were at the right place. So, I mean, I think some things are just meant to be. And obviously that lets you know y'all were meant to be.
Well, I'd like to think so. People have really enjoyed it, and our relationship with Kroger has been phenomenal. So we're excited about it.
Cool. So this is going to cut off in less than a minute.
Yep.
If you will, once this stops, if you'll just hang out with us for a few, we want to just talk to you offline. I just want to thank you so much for talking to us, coming on the podcast, and we love the product, and it has been an honor talking to you, and it's been so much fun.
Absolutely.
Y'all.
The product is amazing, everybody. Check it out, Biolite. And if you're in Statesville, the Piedmont area, you can get it at Banner Drug here in Statesville.
And thank you, Jesslyn, for coming and talking to us.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. Thanks for all the listeners subscribed. We just hit 25,000 listens, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank y'all.